In a land under colonial rule, where freedom was a dream and justice seemed far away, one man rose from humble beginnings. From selling firewood on the dusty streets of Iken to walking the halls of London's great institutions, his journey was not just his own. It was the story of a nation longing to be free. He faced betrayal, conspiracy, and even the weight of prison walls. Yet he never gave up. This is not just history. This is the making of a leader. This is the story of vision, courage, and sacrifice. This is the path to Nigeria's freedom. The Legacy of Obafemi Awolowo. Chapter 1. A Child of Destiny. On March 6, 1909, in the small town of Iken, nestled in the heart of present-day Ogun State, a baby boy was born into the Awolowo family. His parents, David Shapu Awolowo and Mary Efuniella Awolowo, were hardworking people of modest means. His father, a farmer and sawyer, had been one of the first converts to Christianity in the town. From the moment he was born, there was something different about Obafemi. His mother often said he had the eyes of an elder, always watching, always thinking. Though life in Iken was peaceful, it was also filled with hardship. The Yoruba people, known for their deep sense of culture and tradition, placed a strong emphasis on education, but it was a privilege few could afford. David Awolowo, a man of vision, believed his only son would grow to be someone great. He ensured that young Obafemi started school early, enrolling him at St. Saviour's School in Iken. There, Obafemi quickly stood out for his intelligence and eagerness to learn. However, tragedy struck when Obafemi was just 11 years old. His father, the family's main provider, passed away suddenly in 1920. This loss changed everything. With no steady income, his mother struggled to feed the family, let alone pay for school fees. Many expected young Obafemi to drop out and help in the farms, but even at a tender age, he was determined to get an education. "I will not stop learning," he told his mother one evening as they sat outside their small house, the orange glow of the setting sun casting long shadows. To make ends meet, Obafemi took up various small jobs, fetching firewood, helping traders at the market, and running errands. He walked miles every day, carrying heavy loads on his small shoulders, yet he never complained. In his heart, he knew education was his path to something greater. His mother, Efuniella, was his rock. A woman of unshakable faith, she encouraged him at every step. "Your father wanted you to be great," she reminded him. "Do not let hardship stop you." And so, with resilience burning in his heart, young Obafemi Awolowo took his first steps toward a future that would one day change Nigeria forever. Chapter 2. Struggles of a Young Boy. After his father's death, life became increasingly difficult for young Obafemi and his family. His mother, Efuniella, worked tirelessly to support them, but there was never enough money. Education was costly, and many of his peers had already dropped out to work on farms or learn trades. But Obafemi was different. His love for learning was too strong to be extinguished by poverty. He decided to take his future into his own hands. He worked before and after school, taking on any job he could find, cutting and selling firewood, assisting traders, and sometimes walking miles just to deliver messages for a few coins. Despite the struggles, he remained an outstanding student. Teachers noticed his intelligence and determination. One teacher, seeing his potential, advised him to leave Iken for better opportunities. In 1923, Obafemi moved to Abeokuta to continue his education at Imo Wesleyan School. It was a big change for the boy from Iken, but he adapted quickly. At Imo Wesleyan, he proved to be one of the brightest students in his class. However, financial difficulties followed him. More than once, he faced the threat of being sent home for unpaid school fees. Each time, he found ways to earn money, refusing to let anything stop him. During this period, he developed a strong sense of discipline. He read every book he could find, often staying up late at night to study by the dim light of a kerosene lamp. While other children played, he focused on his education. His perseverance paid off. He excelled in his studies, and by 1927, he gained admission to Wesley College, Ibadan, one of the best teacher training institutions in Nigeria. This was a major step forward. Wesley College was known for producing leaders and intellectuals. Here, Obafemi was exposed to new ideas that would shape his future. He began to think deeply about the problems facing his people: poverty, lack of education, and colonial rule. Even as a student, he dreamed of changing Nigeria. But first, he had to survive the struggles of his own life. The teacher with big dreams. At Wesley College, Obafemi Awolowo thrived. He took his studies seriously, knowing that education was his key to success. The school provided structure and discipline, and he absorbed every lesson like a sponge. But studying was not enough. He also needed to support himself. During his time at Wesley, he worked as a part-time teacher. Teaching came naturally to him, and he enjoyed sharing knowledge with younger students. His experiences as a teacher opened his eyes to the realities of the education system. He saw that many children could not afford to attend school, just as he had struggled in the past. It planted a seed in his mind. One day, he would fight to make education free for all. After completing his studies, Obafemi worked as a teacher and journalist. He taught in schools across Nigeria, writing articles in his spare time. His writings often focused on social justice, economic development, and the need for Nigerians to unite against colonial rule. During this period, he began to develop strong political ideas. He realized that education alone was not enough to change Nigeria. True change required political action. But before he could become a leader, he needed more knowledge. He set his sights on something bigger: studying law in England. It was an impossible dream for a young man with no money. But as always, Obafemi was not afraid of challenges. He started working even harder, saving every penny he could. By the early 1940s, he had saved just enough to pursue his dream. With nothing but determination, he set sail for London, where he would begin the next chapter of his extraordinary life. Journey to the White Man's Land. In 1944, Obafemi Awolowo embarked on a life-changing journey. He boarded a ship bound for London, leaving behind the familiar sights of Nigeria for a foreign land. He had no wealth, no powerful connections, only a dream to become a lawyer and fight for Nigeria's freedom. The voyage was long and difficult. As he stood on the deck of the ship, watching the waves crash against the hull, he reflected on how far he had come. From selling firewood in Iken to teaching in Ibadan, every hardship had prepared him for this moment. Upon arriving in England, Obafemi faced immediate challenges. Life in London was expensive, and he had very little money. To survive, he took up several jobs, working as a clerk, assisting in libraries, and even doing menial labor. He often went without proper meals, but he remained focused on his mission. He enrolled at the University of London and later at the Inner Temple, one of the prestigious Inns of Court, to study law. The coursework was intense, but he excelled. Unlike many Nigerians who had traveled abroad and lost touch with home, Awolowo constantly thought about Nigeria. During his time in London, he wrote one of his most influential books, Path to Nigerian Freedom, 1947. In this book, he laid out his vision for Nigeria's future, a federal system of government where different ethnic groups could govern themselves while remaining united as one country. His ideas were bold and ahead of their time. By 1946, after 2 years of relentless study and struggle, he successfully completed his law degree and was called to the bar at the Inner Temple. Standing in his black lawyer's robe, he knew his true journey was just beginning. It was time to return to Nigeria, not just as a lawyer, but as a leader who would change the course of history. This chapter touched you. Don't just stop here. Let's keep growing together. Hit the subscribe button so that you will never miss the next part of this inspiring journey. Give this video a like if you believe in the power of determination and vision, and if you also enjoy this story. Hit the subscription button now to make us eager and motivate us to give you the next chapter quickly. And share your thoughts in the comments. What lesson did you take from this chapter? Your voice matters, and I'd love to hear from you. And where you are watching from. Thank you. Subscribe to notified when the next chapter is ready.